guest, welcome to today's BB20 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Dominic Capello. Hey Romero, thanks so much for the support. We really appreciate it, and we think you're super awesome, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And this is really fun. I've actually met Dominic multiple times at the Big Brother premiere parties, and he's so cool. And yeah, maybe I can meet more of you guys at the parties in the future, because it's fun. Okay, anyway, when we left off yesterday, we know that Bailey wants Brett to go this week, but Rachel's allies are conspiring against her. Ooh, I mean, I'm talking Angela, her final two. Angela, Casey, Tyler are all discussing, you know what, it would probably be better for us to keep Brett over Rachel, because Rachel's freakouts are too much. And on top of that, Angela's thinking that Rachel lied about what Bailey said. Now, if you're confused, definitely watch yesterday's spoiler, but just to catch you up to speed really quickly, Rachel was saying that Bailey said that Tyler said he's not going to use the veto unless Angela is going up. Now, that's a lie. Tyler did not say that to Bailey, but Bailey, I guess, didn't realize that these people are working together and this was going to get out there. And another part of this, Tyler is saying that Bailey told him if he uses it, she's going to put up Angela. So there was a lot of confusion around this. Who's telling the truth? Who's lying? Is it Rachel, Tyler, or Bailey? It was Bailey. But they're trying to figure that out. So it's getting Rachel into a lot of trouble with her own alliance. So we'll come back to that. But they had the have-not selection yesterday, and it wasn't a volunteer situation. This week, the three have-nots are the three house guests with the worst times from the HOH competition. So that would be Fessy, Scotty, and Tyler. I gotta say, this sucks for Scotty. This is his third time overall being a have-not, and this is his second week in a row. That sucks. Alright, so then Brett and Tyler were talking in the backyard, and Brett's like, use the veto on me, bro. He says, if the replacement nominee is Angela, like Bailey was telling you, then we just keep Angela. But he doesn't think it's gonna be. He thinks that Bailey is just trying to bluff here, trying to get Tyler to not use the veto. But how could she put up Angela? She's always saying how like obsessed she is with Angela and how much she loves her. So it just doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. So Brett is like, I'm freaking effed if I stay up on this block, because he thinks all the girls are going to vote him out. And he says, you guys are effed too, because you're going to be the next targets after I'm gone. It's true, like, who would the next big target be once Brett is gone? So Tyler's like, don't worry, you're going to have the votes to stay. JC has promised that he's going to keep you this week. Sam is going to do what we want. It's all good. So Brett's like, yeah, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable if it was two girls up there and not me. Okay? He would feel a lot better about it. And he's saying there's still a chance that Bailey would put up somebody outside of their group, outside of level 6. And if not, if it is Angela going up on the block, again, they can just keep her and vote out Rachel. He's saying they should have the numbers to do that. And he thinks, you know, we got to keep the guys' numbers up, because if he goes, it's going to be 4 guys left against 7 girls. And that's scary. Okay, so Tyler again is like, don't worry, I'm going to lock in the votes for you to stay. It's going to be fine. So then JC comes over to talk to them, and Brett is working the whole guy versus girl angle again. He's saying, I'm going to be the 4th guy to go in 5 weeks. All these girls are just sitting around coasting. They don't have to even worry. So Brett and Tyler let JC know, I don't know if you've heard this, but there's like kind of a girls alliance going on. And JC's just like, what? Like, he's skeptical about it. He's not so sure that's for real. But Brett is just like, how did we not see this coming? Alright, so anyway, JC and Fessy were up in the HOH room, and Fessy was telling JC about his hot tub chat with Brett. They were talking, it was like the night that they got alcohol, was that Saturday night, and it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning. They were in the hot tub together. And Brett was basically giving the same pitch, saying, if I go, it's going to be 4 guys versus 7 girls, and you don't want that. So they were talking about it, and JC's like, yeah, I was just, you know, having the same conversation with Brett. JC does not think that there's an all-girls alliance. And Fessy's like, even if there is, we don't have to worry about it, because They both agree it's never going to work. They say the girls would all kill each other. And they're like, could you imagine those 7 girls in a room together trying to talk, like, peacefully? It's never going to happen. Okay, so anyway, JC and Tyler were chatting in the lounge room. And JC is like, come on, man, there's no way that there's a girls' alliance. No way. And Tyler's like, yeah, it's not like a real thing because all the girls in our group are kind of just like going along with it, but they're not like fully invested. But Haley, Bailey, and Rockstar think it's solid. You sure about that? I feel like it's kind of a going along with it thing on both sides. I don't think they're actually planning on protecting each other. I think it's more of a, hey, if it's a guy and a girl on the block, we'll keep the girl, except that's not even gonna happen. So anyway, JC is telling Tyler, I don't think you should use the veto this week, because JC knows his butt was on the line this week. If that veto is used, there is a good chance that he could be going up. It's probably either him or Scotty. So he's just like, don't use the veto. So JC is like, I don't care who goes out of the nominees this week. It's not like last week when his intuition was telling him that Caitlyn had to go. This week, it's whatever. He doesn't care. He'll vote however Tyler wants. So Tyler's like, all right, promise me that if I don't use the veto, you will vote to keep Brett. And he's saying, we're going to have a much better chance of staying if we're up on the block against Brett than we would if we were up against Rachel, because he's a much bigger target. So people are going to want to vote him out before us. So JC's like, yeah, I get it. You got me. I'll do it. I'm going to do whatever you want. So Tyler's like, all right, if you don't vote Rachel out, I'm going to be pissed at you because I am keeping you safe this week by not using the veto. I don't have to do that. So he's saying I would never use the veto if there was a chance of you going up. Tyler just loves to use that line on people. So JC's like, yeah, I told you. I 100% trust you. It's all good. And, like, in the past, I would say, oh, yeah, JC is definitely going to do what he says. But now that we know that he threw that hinky vote out there last week, I don't know. But then again, that was in a landslide situation. I don't know that JC would be that quick to flip his vote when the votes are potentially going to be, you know, pretty even here. And also, they don't know that JC was the one to flip his vote. I'm just saying from our perspective. All right, so then Tyler and Scotty were chatting in the storage room. Tyler is really working it, man. He is getting everything he can out of this veto. So they discuss how dumb it was for Rachel to volunteer to be a pawn this week. And then, like, after she volunteered, she went back up to the HOH room with Bailey and was like, don't put me up. And she threw pretty much everybody under the bus trying to get anybody else up on the block other than her. So Scotty knows that she was really pushing to get him nominated this week, and he has no idea where that came from. He thought they were good, which is crazy because Rachel is going into this thinking that her and Scotty are, like, sworn enemies. So Scotty thinks that Rachel cast the hinky vote and is trying to pin it on him. And Rachel thinks that Scotty is trying to do the same thing to her. Tyler is just playing along. You know, it depends on who he's talking to. He's just like, oh yeah, that's what I think too. So then Tyler's telling Scotty, I don't want to use the power veto. I don't want to risk you going up, Scotty. I would never put you in danger like that. Now that's crazy because Tyler is thinking right now, I'm only going to use the veto if Scotty's going to be the replacement nominee. Wild. So Tyler's like, all right, if I don't use the veto, we're gonna have to figure out who to keep between Brett and Rachel, who's gonna be. So Scotty's like, well, I think the house will vote Brett out, so we should probably follow suit and do the same. And Tyler's like, all right, sounds good, sounds good. And then he's saying, I'm hearing there's a girls' alliance apparently. Have you heard about that? What are your thoughts? And Scotty's like, well, listen to this. If I win HOH, I'm planning on putting up Rachel and Angela. If Rachel's there. He thinks Rachel's going to be there. He's planning on putting up Rachel and Angela. And he thinks that, you know, that should be everybody's goal here to put up 2 of the girls. So Tyler's like, yeah, right on. Does he really think that? Probably not. But they both say that they trust Bailey. And Tyler hopes that him not using the veto is really going to be a sign of good faith for Bailey, and you know, she's going to trust him. All right, so then Scotty and Fessy had a quick chat in the kitchen, and Fessy is like, okay, the 2 of us need to sit down with Tyler later and talk, because we can't let the girls take all of us out. I thought you weren't worried about this girls thing, but it sounds like you are. So Fessy's like, okay, the three of us are the best physical competitors. We can't turn on each other. We can't let the girls take us out. And Scotty's like, again, I'm going to put up Angela and Rachel if I win HOH. And it sounded like Tyler was on board. So, you know, we're moving in the right direction here. You know, we'll take out Brett this week to please the girls. And then we're going to have to break up Angela, Rachel, and Casey. Okay, so then Brett and Angela were touching base in the have-not room. And Angela was sharing her interpretation of what happened with the whole Rachel, Bailey, Tyler veto situation, that whole mess. So she's thinking at this point that Rachel made all of this up. She's assuming that Rachel is the liar here. And she was just afraid that if the veto is used, the replacement would be somebody with a power, and then she would go home. So she didn't want the veto to be used. She made all this up so that it wouldn't be. That's not the case. Bailey was the liar, but they don't know that. They don't realize that Bailey lied. It's crazy how they're trusting Bailey over Rachel, who's in their alliance. But at the same time, she's trusting Bailey over Tyler. Like, this whole thing is a mess. So, anyway, Brett is like, Bailey's probably just bluffing. I really doubt that she would put you up, Angela. And Angela agrees with him. And Brett's saying, that being said, I would like the veto to be used on me. I would really appreciate being safe this week. And Angela's like, yeah, but we've got the votes to keep you. Don't even worry about it. Rachel's going. So she's listing off, we've got me, Casey, Tyler, JC, Sam. So it's 5. That's all you need. Don't worry. Brett's like, oh, I am worried. Like, the votes could very easily still flip. He would just feel so much more comfortable if he was safe. So Angela's like, well, you could blow up the Girls Alliance in your eviction speech and then, you know, blame it on Rockstar or Caitlyn or whatever. Oh my god, can you imagine if he called out Rockstar again? Her head would explode. It would be a mess. So Angela's like, it would be awesome because if you blow up the Girls Alliance, all the guys will vote Rachel out, and then Fessy and Scotty are not going to trust the girls on the other side, and that's what she wants to happen. So Angela is saying again, I don't think Tyler should use the veto because he doesn't need to get all that blood on his hands. We're just going to get rid of Rachel anyway, so what's the point? Woo! She turned on her best friend quick. So she's saying Rachel created this whole mess. She's got to go. So Brett's like, all right, I trust the alliance. But again, like, I really, really, really want to come down. So then Rachel finally talks to Tyler in the have-not room. But is it too late? She's like, I don't understand why you're saying that Bailey told you that Angela would be the replacement nominee, because she never said that to me. She's been telling me this whole time that it would be Scotty. So what's going on here? What's this discrepancy? So Tyler's like, I asked her, and that's what she told me. She told me that Angela would be going up, and she didn't want me to use the veto. So Tyler explains this plan that he's been trying to carry out. He's been trying to convince Bailey that he's BFFs with Scotty, so that if he does use the veto, Bailey will put up Scotty as revenge. I don't think this plan's really working. It was fun in theory, but it's not working. So Tyler's telling Rachel, there's no way Bailey would tell you that she was actually going to put up Angela, because she knows you guys are best friends. So why is she going to tell you that? She wouldn't say that to your face. So Rachel's like, yeah, but Bailey told me that you wanted Angela up. And Tyler says, that's bullshit. You know, she's just telling you what you want to hear. There's no way she's going to put Scotty up. So Rachel, light bulb moment, finally understands what happened here. She's like, whoa, Bailey lied to me. Imagine that. So she's like, oh my god, I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't mean to make this whole thing. So then Rachel goes and talks to Casey and Angela, lets them know that she's cleared everything up with Tyler, and she realizes now that Bailey was lying to her. But it's too late. The damage has been done. Angela and Casey are just like, girl, you played yourself. Like, they didn't say that to her, but they're still talking about her behind her back and conspiring for her to go. So, like, 20 minutes later, Rachel was outside hanging out with JC. She was, like, drumming on his stomach, and then JC swatted at her face, and he ended up giving her a bloody lip, and was like, cut the feeds, cut the feeds. Like, it wasn't a big big deal, but I just want you guys to know that, just in case you see her walking around with like a fat lip or something. So anyway, later last night, Angela dropped a bomb on Tyler. She was like, this does not leave this room. Bailey has the power. Ah! She can change the nominations next week, so if you piss her off by using the veto this week, you're probably going up. Whoa! So now Tyler knows about all of the powers. He's the only one who knows who got all 3. He is really rocking this out. I always get a little nervous for him last week with all the Caitlyn stuff, but he's really turned it around. So they do not understand why Bailey would tell Rachel about her power. No one does. Nobody understands. It does not make sense. So Tyler's like, all right, well, I'm not going to use the veto for sure now. We have the votes to get rid of Rachel. And he's planning on trying to get, they want to pin JC's vote on Scotty. They want to try and make Scotty look bad again, because I guess they want JC to be able to maintain his image with the other side. So, poor Scotty, man. He's getting blamed for all these votes. So then Bailey, Haley, and Rockstar were in the HOH room. And they're like, damn, we need to make sure that JC does not take Fessy away from us. He's got way too much control over him right now. It's getting stronger and stronger every day. We need to break that up because we need Fessy for our group. Also, Brett needs to go because he's trying to band all the guys together against the girls. He's using that in his campaign strategy, and that's not a good look for us. So they still want to use the guys, Fessy, Scotty, and Tyler. Tyler? He's not on your side. They want to use him to take out the girls on the other side because this girls' alliance is a sham. It is not happening. So then, later, Tyler tells Brett about Bailey's power. They don't know all the details yet. I think Tyler and Angela were supposed to talk about it more today, but they think that it's going to be going down next week. They don't know when this thing expires. They don't know all the details yet, but I'm sure that will come out more, which is crazy now. So the people that know about Bailey's power, Fessy, he's on her side. And that's it on her side. Everybody else that knows about it is on the other side. Isn't that crazy? That's wild. So Tyler is like telling Brett, I'm sorry, man, I can't use the veto. If I piss off Bailey, she's probably going to put both of us up next week with her power. She's probably going to do it anyway, but okay. So Brett is still trying to convince Tyler to use the veto. He's like, only person that's going to be pissed is like Rockstar. So who cares? So Tyler keeps telling him, no, man, I'm not going to do it. It's too much of a risk. We still have the votes to keep you. It's going to be fine. So Tyler tells Brett, all you have to do is keep hanging out with Scotty. You know, keep getting closer to him so we can pin JC's vote on him. And you know what? If you get close enough to him, maybe he'll even change his mind and vote to keep you anyway. And that can only help you. So today they had the power veto ceremony. Tyler did not use the veto, which means it's still Rachel and Brett up on the block. So after the ceremony, Rachel's crying. She's very emotional. And Bailey's telling her, just lay low. It's going to be fine. No, it's not. It's too late for her. It's too late. I mean, things could always change. You never know. But the damage has been done. So then Bailey's telling Tyler, I trust you completely. You said you wouldn't use the veto. You didn't use the veto. You're great in my books. So at this point, Sacred 4 and Scotty are all under the impression that Brett will be leaving this week. But if the votes fall the way that they're looking like they're going to fall right now, it's going to be 5-4 for Brett to stay. So yet again, Sacred 4 and Scotty will be blindsided. Isn't that crazy? If they do keep it a blindside. I don't even know if they're going to warn Rachel, but wow, that's a lot. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, we're 3 days away until the eviction. 3 days away from the eviction, so anything could happen. But let me know what you think, and until tomorrow, much love.